All right, let's talk about something every homeowner absolutely dreads: discovering water where it shouldn't be. In this explainer, we're going to build your ultimate survival guide. This is your roadmap to get you from that moment of sheer panic all the way to a full recovery, using the exact same playbook the professionals do.
Ugh, you know that feeling, right? That pit in your stomach when you hear a drip, 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 and you know nothing should be dripping. Or you spot a musty smell you just can't place. Or maybe that little stain on the ceiling looks bigger than it did yesterday. This is exactly where our story begins, in that sudden, heart-pounding moment of discovery.
Okay, so if you take away only one thing from this, let it be this: water is relentless. It doesn't wait for a convenient time. It just seeps, it spreads, and it creates bigger, more complicated, and way more expensive problems with every single minute that ticks by. The clock starts the second you see the problem.
So here's our game plan. We're going to break this down into 4 simple parts. First, we'll uncover the hidden threats lurking around your home. Then you'll learn how to decode the damage like a pro. After that, we'll run through the official restoration playbook, and finally, we'll cover your role in making sure everything gets back to normal.
All right, let's dive into Section 1, the hidden water threat. You know, it's easy to think it's all about one leaky pipe, but honestly, it's usually way more complex. Things like where you live, your local weather, and even the dirt your house is built on can create a perfect storm for water damage.
And the culprits? Well, they are literally all over the place. You've got the big dramatic ones, right? A flash flood, a burst pipe that turns your kitchen into a wading pool. But really, it's the sneaky ones you have to watch out for, the silent offenders. That slow, hidden leak behind a wall, or the overflowing drain pan from the AC unit in your attic that you never, ever check.
Now, this is where it gets really fascinating. It's not just about what's in your house, but what's around it. Take places with a lot of heavy clay soil, like parts of coastal Texas. That soil acts like a giant sponge. It swells up when it's wet and then shrinks when it's dry, constantly putting pressure on your home's foundation. You add high humidity to that mix, and suddenly a tiny leak can become a massive, massive headache.
And this number, you need to burn this number into your brain. 24 to 48 hours. That's it. In a warm, humid environment, that is the critical window before mold can really start to take hold and grow inside wet materials. Remember that ticking clock we talked about? Well, it's ticking fast.
So how do the pros make sense of all this chaos? Well, when they show up, they are not just winging it. They have a standardized system, a whole language, really, for decoding the damage. And if you learn a little bit of their lingo, you'll be way ahead of the game in understanding what's happening to your home.
And the people who literally wrote the rulebook? That's the IICRC. Just think of them as the gold standard for the entire restoration industry. If a technician is IICRC certified, it means they know the science, they follow proven protocols, and you can be confident you're dealing with a real expert, not just someone with a wet vac.
Here's a huge pro tip. Not all water is created equal. The pros break it down into 3 main categories. You've got Category 1, which is clean water, from a broken supply line. Then there's Category 2, or gray water. Kind of gross. Think dishwasher or washing machine overflow. And then you have Category 3, black water. Yeah, this is the bad stuff. Sewage, floodwater from a river. It's a serious health risk.
And there's another layer to this, the class of damage. This has nothing to do with how clean the water is. It's all about how much water there is and how soaked everything got. A Class 1 or 2 is less severe, maybe just a wet carpet in one part of a room. But a Class 3 or 4? Whoa. That means water came from overhead, completely saturating ceilings, insulation, hardwood floors, you name it.
Okay, so we know how to talk. Now let's walk through the professional's playbook. When a certified team gets to your house, they don't just start ripping things out. They begin a very specific, science-based process. This isn't chaos. It's a controlled response designed to get your home dry and safe as quickly as possible. The whole process really boils down to these 3 core phases. It all starts with that emergency call and their initial assessment. Then comes the main event, pulling all the water out and beginning the structural drying process. And finally, only after everything is proven to be completely dry do they start putting things back together. And they're not doing this with household fans, that's for sure. The pros roll up with some serious technology. We're talking thermal imaging cameras that can literally see moisture behind walls, moisture meters that give them precise data, and these huge, powerful truck-mounted extractors and commercial dehumidifiers that make everyday tools look like toys.
So what is structural drying exactly? This is such a critical concept. It's not just about drying the surface you can see and touch. It's a scientific process that creates the perfect environment to pull trapped moisture from deep inside the very bones of your house. The wood studs, the subfloor, all of it.
And you have to understand, that process takes time. This is not an overnight fix. A typical project can easily take 3, 5, or even 7 days to do correctly. Technicians will be there every single day taking moisture readings and adjusting equipment. The whole thing is driven by data, not by guesswork.
Okay, we've gone through the professional playbook. Now, let's bring the focus back to you. Because in a situation like this, you are not helpless. In fact, you're a critical player. And there are things you can do to protect your stuff and make sure the whole recovery process goes smoothly.
So, picture it. You've made that call, help is on the way. The big question is, what can you do in those crucial first moments? In that stressful gap between panic and the pros arriving, how can you help mitigate the damage?
First and foremost, only do what is absolutely safe. If the area is secure, whip out your phone and start taking tons of photos and videos for your insurance claim. Get valuables and important documents to a dry spot. Here's a great tip. Put aluminum foil or little wood blocks under the legs of your furniture to stop water from waking up. And open up all your cabinet doors and drawers to get some air circulating.
Now, this is a huge piece of advice. In a lot of places, Texas for example, you don't actually need a state license to be a water damage restorer. Kinda wild, right? That means the burden is on you to check their credentials. So don't be shy about it. Always ask to see proof of their IICRC certification. It's your single best protection against shoddy work.
Ultimately, everything we've talked about really comes down to this one powerful idea. The job isn't done when the standing water's gone. The job is only done when scientific readings prove that moisture is no longer trapped deep inside your home's structure. That, and only that, is what prevents future nightmares like mold and rot.
And that brings us to our final and maybe most important question. Getting your home dry is the immediate goal, for sure. But a water damage event is also a massive wake-up call. It forces you to ask, what can we do to stop this from happening all over again? Is our home truly prepared for the next hidden threat?